Maria, my colleague, continues to be with me on this broadcast. And Maria, we've been speaking to politicians from across the board, and all of them have only one thing to say. He was an ordinary man, came from ordinary beginnings, from humble beginnings, but his life was extraordinary, politically as well as personally.
Yes, that's right. And someone who achieved great fame and distinguished himself in national politics. Someone who played an important role as a member of parliament as well, because his interventions were insightful and emphasized on furthering national interest, is what Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said. Several leaders have put out their pictures with Mulayam Singh Yadav. Prime Minister, interestingly, has put out pictures in which he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat and Mulayam Singh Yadav was then serving as the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. What was the discussions like? Those are pictures that have come in from the Gyan Bhavan then, when Prime Minister Modi and was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, and Mulayam Singh Yadav was serving as the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh then. So as we see those messages come in, Farooq Abdullah, another veteran politician of Indian politics, he's remembering Mulayam Singh Yadav as a humble politician. His arch rival, Mayawati, has put out a detailed tweet in which she's remembering him as well. So, the point is being made right now is that the entire country stands united in grief with Akhilesh Yadav and the Samajwadi Party in this moment, which is certainly end of an era. We are talking about it as truly an end of a politics that Mulayam Singh Yadav stood for, that he believed in, that he really propagated for decades. A constituency that he carefully carved out in Uttar Pradesh, and he nurtured that constituency for decades. But Mulayam Singh Yadav, his role as Defence Minister, Mulayam Singh Yadav, his role as a Member of Parliament representing Uttar Pradesh, all that has been remembered by politicians across party lines. And, we are seeing that announcement coming from Uttar Pradesh government, where Yogi Adityanath has said that there will be a 3-day mourning that has been announced in the state of Uttar Pradesh because Mulayam Singh Yadav served as the Chief Minister as well. So state funeral will be given to Mulayam Singh Yadav. His mortal remains will be carried to Saifai town, which has been built by Mulayam and nurtured by his entire family, which has all the benefits that you can think of. It's almost like a sea of development in otherwise area, which during the Samajwadi Party tenure, which faced criticism that all the development funds were transferred and directed towards Saifai. So that's where at the traditional family village is where the last rites of Mulayam Singh Yadav will take place. But politicians of his age, younger politicians, are all remembering Mulayam Singh Yadav, remembering what he stood for. And, for us as journalists who have covered politics and who have had a chance of interacting with Mulayam Singh Yadav on multiple occasions, trying to listen to his insights, trying to listen to his press conferences, it was always about making political points without jargon, trying to make political points and sending a larger political message. So it was very difficult to decode the politics of Mulayam Singh Yadav in many ways in 1990s and in early 2000 and late 2000, when he would be seen as part of an alliance and yet he would be seen on the other side. The classic example was when during presidential elections, he took a stand which was contrarian to the side that he was on. So he was also someone who could be reached out by politicians across parties, and they would be, respecting Mulayam Singh Yadav's wisdom in taking calls which were seen to be largely benefiting that political group. So he was also someone, politically speaking, as a man who mastered the art of coalition politics. He could get warring factions together and ensure that they are on talking terms, particularly when it comes to national coalitions, which the 1990s and early 2000 were known for. I mean, till 2014, and then it was Prime Minister Modi's era which has begun. So having said that, and that is the reason why we are seeing condolences pour in from various politicians across party lines, all of them remembering Mulayam Singh Yadav as a humble man, as someone who was a man with humble beginnings, And he continues to maintain that. And I'll make an observation also. He was seen also recently in Parliament on a wheelchair because he understood his parliamentary responsibilities and duties and performed it very diligently. So even now, when he was ailing and his health had started deteriorating, Mulayam Singh Yadav was seen on a wheelchair from gate number 1, somebody accompanying him, lifting his wheelchair through those staircases, and then he would be pushed around and he would be seen in Parliament, and on the second floor is where the Samajwadi Party office was, and Mulayam Singh Yadav would be sitting there with the party men, interacting with them. So every time you made an effort to interact with Mulayam Singh Yadav, even though, memory had started failing him, he would make an effort in trying to remember. So we would see often at gate number 1, several politicians would stop, greet Netaji, and then move on.
Absolutely. Do stay on with me. D. Raja of the CPI also now with us on this broadcast. Unfortunate circumstances we are speaking in, Mr. D. Raja, but if you could share some of your personal experiences with Mulayam Singh Yadav.
Firstly, it is very sad that Mulayam ji is no more. A couple of days back, I had been to hospital. I met Mr. Akhilesh, Mr. Shipal. I thought he would recover well and come out. Anyway, it is very sad news. He was one of the most respected senior political leaders of our country. I used to have a close working relationship with him at the time of United Front formation and then United Front government. He used to be very affectionate to me. Inside Parliament also, I used to meet him. Whenever he saw me, he used to put his hand on my shoulder and speak to me with so much affection and discuss certain issues. And he is very committed. He was a very committed person to the ideals of Logia ji and to the cause of backward and downtrodden people. And it's a very great loss. And on behalf of our party, the Communist Party of India, I pay my solemn homage. And I also wish Mr. Akhilesh to gain courage to overcome this tragedy and move forward, carrying forward the legacy of Mr. Mulayam ji.
D. Raja, thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. Condolences and tributes they're pouring in for Mulayam Singh Yadav, also standing with the family, standing with Akhilesh Yadav and his family in this time of grief. We do know that Mulayam Singh will be, his mortal remains will be taken to Lucknow first and then to Saifai, where he will be laid to rest. The UP government has also declared a 3-day state mourning on the passing away of the former Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, a man who donned many hats, a grassroots leader in its true sense, son of the soil in its true sense as far as Uttar Pradesh is concerned, a man who shaped the politics of the state, a man who inspired generations of political leaders, inspired many to take the plunge, to bite the bullet and join politics, make a political career for the people of this country, for the people of the state. His political affiliations kept aside, his relationships that he shared with politicians from across the spectrum are what is being spoken of today, that is being celebrated today, as the void that he leaves behind will be felt not just by Akhilesh and his family, not just by the Samajwadi Party, but by the people of Uttar Pradesh and by the people of this country as well. We will keep getting you the condolence messages that are pouring in, but slipping into a quick break on this edition on CNN News 18.